Hey everybody, this is the Titanic Gamer here, and welcome back to another one of my Pokemon X and Y moveset videos. Now, I do not own this track. This track does not belong to me. I'm just using it for entertainment purposes for this video. So this is Ninetales. Now Ninetales is a pretty interesting Pokemon because it's one of the only few Pokemon in the game that gets access to Drought, the ability, and it's not a legendary. I think there's like 2 more Pokemon that get this ability. But anyway, let's go over its base stats. Its base HP is 73, which is a little above average. It's definitely good. Its base attack is 76. It's usable, but its physical attacking move pool is just shallow, so I wouldn't recommend using it. Its base defense is 75, which is, it's like somewhat average. But it does have access to Will-O-Wisp and Baby Doll Eyes, so you can kind of make up for that low defense. You can patch it up. Its base special attack is 81. 81 is not bad, but it's not super duper high either, but it does get nasty plot to just make it downright monstrous. Now, its base special defense is base 100, which is really good. You can take special hits. A lot of special hits, but not as many as other Pokemon, because there are Pokemon that are bulkier than this on the special side. Its speed is base 100, which actually isn't bad. You'll outspeed a lot of Pokemon, but there are a ton of Pokemon out there like Starmie, Espeon, Jolteon, Garchomp that will just outspeed you. But still, base 100 is good. So the nature you want to run would be Calm or Timid. You want to run Calm for the defensive set, or Timid for this offensive set over here. The item you want to run would be Leftovers, Citrus Berry, or Binding Band. You can use all 3 of these items for the defensive set if you want, because they all kind of have their niche, should I say. But you want to run the Binding Band for this one over here. You really want to. We're going to be running 31 IVs and all except attack. The ability of choice, of course, is going to be Drought. It kind of nullifies your water weakness while buffing your fire type attacks to just insane levels of power. You want Drought. It's not permanent like in Gen 5, but it's 5 turns if you don't have a Heat Rock, but it's okay. 5 turns is good enough. Now, the EVs we're going to be running for the defensive set would be 248 HP, because we want a max HP number that's not divisible by 25%. You'll be able to come in on Stealth Rock about 5 times, and you'll be able to live with 1% before you die. Well, you'll be able to live with, like 1%, and then you switch out, and then you can just use Ninetales as death fodder. So the special defense EVs would be 156. We want to be specially bulky, and then we put 40 in the speed, because we want to outspeed certain Pokemon that are slower than us. And the last of it will be going into physical defense, because there's nowhere else to put it. Really, there's nowhere else to put it. So the move of choice, the first move would be Fire Spin. And Fire Spin is good because what it does is it traps the opponent in, and then it does 1/8 damage at the end of each turn. Now, they'll be able to switch out if they're a Ghost type. Well, they won't take any damage from this if they're a Pokemon that has Flash Fire, and it'll completely ignore the effects, the damaging effect too, so be careful of that. But we're going to be using these moves to abuse it in a defensive way. We're going to be using Will-O-Wisp to just burn things and get residual damage on them. And we're going to be using Protect in tandem with Fire Spin and or Will-O-Wisp just to get residual damage. And then the last move of choice would be either Grudge, because Grudge is your last ditch effort. It's the ace up this thing's tail. It does wonders. It works wonders. If they use a move on you that you think is going to kill them, or that they think is going to kill you, you use Grudge. And what Grudge does is it drains all the PP for that move after you've used it and before you move on the next turn. Yeah. So you get to cripple something just super duper hard. Or you can just run Flamethrower if you want damage. So you won't be complete like, you won't be kind of like some taunt bait. Now for an offensive set, we're going to be running 216 speed. We're going to be running a Timid nature too, because with 216 speed and a Timid nature, you'll be able to outspeed Gliscor, which is kind of a threat actually. He can just Earthquake you and then just kill you off, and you want to be able to get some damage in before he even gets a chance to move, or before she or he gets a chance to freaking move. And you just outspeed plenty of Pokemon with this speed stat, which is good. And on the other EVs would be 192 special attack, because it gives you some power to back up, you know, just to make yourself not as vulnerable to other moves. Okay, I'm just making sure the music's not finna go off. But yeah, 192 special attack EVs is really nice. Works well with these moves of choice: Dark Pulse, you know, Solar Beam, Heat Wave, or Fire Blast. Now the rest we're going to be putting in the HP for a little bit of bulk. Not as much as the defensive set, but still quite a bit of bulk, if you ask me. And still you'll get a number that's divisible, that is not divisible by 25, so you'll be able to come in on Stealth Rock, and you'll still be able to fodder this thing out if you have to. Okay, now the moves of choice would be Fire Spin. Fire Spin is just really good, and it got an accuracy buff to 85, and it got a little damage buff from like base power 15 to 35. Now, instead of running Will-O-Wisp or Baby Doll Eyes, we're going to be running Heat Wave for just more damage than Flamethrower at the cost of like a little bit of accuracy. Or you can just run Fire Blast if you want to incinerate everything. A Fire Blast in Drought with some special attack investment is going to hurt. And, you know, Protect, of course, is here for residual damage on Fire Spin. Is just really good with the Binding Band, just slowly whittling their health down. It just puts pressure on them. What are they going to do? Are they going to heal? Or do they have to predict what you're going to do, or are you going to switch out? Now, the last moves of the choice would be Solar Beam, because it loses the turn it has to charge up when Drought activates, and you can get rid of like a bulky water type or something like that. Or Dark Pulse for like a good neutral coverage. You won't be able to hit certain Pokemon like Tyranitar hard at all, but you'll be able to hit a lot of Pokemon in the game for damage. Now that's it for Ninetales. Ninetales is a pretty interesting Pokemon. It's really good. Not as good as other Pokemon, but still reasonably solid. And if you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see all my fans later. Peace out.